brought up a topic earlier that I used to agree with you on. It was the same thing I was taught, but I have a little bit different take on it now. And I think it's important, even for anybody watching this to maybe agree or disagree with us too, because it's something that is extremely important. And I think age has a little bit to do with it, and, at different points in people's career. But saying yes to a gig, the first thing that we're always taught is, say yes to everything. If you don't know how to play it, say yes. Go learn how to play it. It's only through doing that you'll be better. And then you're going to meet more people. And so just keep saying yes.
There's a lot of truth in there.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where the gig is. You go and you drive there and you do the gig. It doesn't matter how long and it doesn't matter how much it pays. You just say yes, 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 yes.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that there is a lot of truth to that, especially, when you're starting your career. But what's the balance between now as being adults and having worked in the industry a little more of where you value, when do you say yes?
Yeah.
And I guess the secondary question I have is it okay to say no?
Well, definitely it's okay to say no. And there's some things you have to say no to. I think you have to value yourself as a musician and what you bring to the table and the kind of experience you bring. I do think when you're young, saying yes to a lot of stuff is very beneficial for your development. And it's through going through that experience that maybe you might call paying dues or something. That you get to a point where you can say no and you could feel good about saying no. But you know what? That's not enough bread, or that gig is too. Why am I going to drive that far for that? And make sure you value what you do as a musician, because no one else is going to value it. They will literally, pay you pennies to do something that you've studied and worked on for, decades.
Yeah, it's like knowing your value. Like one of the things that I kind of learned was the only thing a musician really has at the end of the day is his time and his talent.
That's it.
So what is that worth? And I definitely was a yes man, and I think it was so important that I said yes to 10 million things, and I put myself up in the crunch and just had to figure it out, find solutions, and I had to go fall on my face. And
right.
And business wise, it was the greatest thing ever. I was meeting so many different players and building relationships. We didn't start playing tours together. I think we started playing a church gig together, and then jazz gigs. It's all these building blocks. But one of the things that I and I get a lot of flack from people when I talk about this, and again, agree to disagree. I like to at least get it out there.
Do it.
One of the things that I've been finding more is, for every time I say yes, I am not available to. I have to potentially say no to something. There's something about availability, and if you're busy saying yes to everything, then you're actually not available during those points. So if you're just filling yourself up with busy work constantly, or something that you don't want to be doing or don't love to be doing, then that's the grind. And I know it's hard because for all of us, we all want to make make our money, but then you start having things like your life and your family and the other skills, time to practice.
Yeah, you really burn yourself out. I mean, I think of it minutes on a court too. If you're a basketball player and stuff, when they're older players, it's let's not put him out there too much. He's going to hurt himself, and that's a real thing, physical fatigue and moving gear around and stuff. And how's your back feeling?
It's actually and Kotzen brought it up in a cool way to me at one point, because I always feel like I'm kind of like that jack of all trades, master of none sometimes, and of developing your voice as a musician, and where we talk a little bit about that flexibility and the versatility. It's a good thing in that way, but also it's easy to really quick to just be in a situation where you're just kind of and I'm doing that, and then there's no personality to some of these guys playing. And it's important that even if you are going to say yes, because in the end of the day we all have to say yes as much as we possibly can,
right?
But is to still try to find a voice, and that's something for me that's changed. It's all right, I'm maybe saying yes a little less often, even if that means a hit financially sometimes. in order to not compromise the voice that I'm trying to build behind the instrument. I finally feel ready, like in my old age, to get a little bit more of a voice. So I've been finding that like it's okay to say no a little bit. And,
and you know, then maybe you get in less situations where you're having to sub something out last minute and kind of, you know, maybe burning a bridge because you had an opportunity to come in and you're just like, oh man, I gotta tell this guy I can't show up at, you know, O'Halligan's to play tonight.
Yeah,
so
you know, but even in the sense of like a big tour or something like that too, sometimes those things don't come because you're not available.
Yeah. And you know, saying yes, I think it starts to develop to where you say yes for different reasons, I would think, right? Like, so is it yes because the music is so killing it, it's just satisfying your soul because you're just like, this is playing right here, or is it yes because hey, this is a fat check, or maybe it's yes because like these are my friends, you know, and I'm just happy to play with them, you know.
Yeah, you're lucky if you can get, you know, all three. Like, you're lucky if you can get one. Having all three is like a, you know,
that's like a dream situation, right?
It's almost like unicorn, you know. But like unicorn, you know, but you're saying no. It's like kind of the same way. So it's learning to get a little bit of a balance, so that way, you know, you're still developing the things that you want from your playing and in your life, and also having, you know, again, the big lesson I'm learning now for me at this point, and this could change tomorrow or anything, but it's having that little bit of time to be available to work on some stuff for me and branch out, and so when I come to the instrument, I'm really present and speaking how I speak behind the drums.
And that's a really good point. It's easy to get so overwhelmed with so many gigs that you're not really present. You get behind on learning tunes or whatever, or you just it could make your playing suffer a little bit. You gotta have some breathing space for yourself,
for life, and
just like musically, you know, having space in your playing so that the song breathes and feels right. You know, it's the same concept, I think.
Yeah. So you working Wednesday?
No, you got a gig?